Today I'm going to show you how to create and customize a WooCommerce single product page using Gutenberg blocks without adding any extra codes or plugins. Now I'm pretty sure some of you might have seen Adam and John from WP Crafter as well as Paul from WP Tuch showing you how to activate the Gutenberg editor in the WooCommerce product page, and it requires you to add a set of codes to your theme. And they are great, it works perfectly. If you want to check them out, feel free to watch those videos after this. I'll leave the links in the description. For me personally, I don't like to add codes because I've concern over WooCommerce updating their source codes and activating Gutenberg by default, which I think is coming soon, and if that happens, I'm worried it might cause some conflict. So my preference is just to work with what we have. And you'll be surprised that what I'll be sharing with you in this video will work with just about any WordPress themes that provides the hook elements functionality. I know GeneratePress has this, I know Blocksy has this as well, but in this example, I'll be using the Kadence Pro Theme. So let's check out the single product page we're gonna build today. Now, I imagine myself selling knives, and this is the default boring WooCommerce single product page, and it doesn't have any styling and stuff. And I managed to turn this product page into this cool looking page. We have a black background image that sticks to the background as we scroll. All the fonts and borders are made to white to create the contrast. We have this accordion right after the add to cart. This is done with Gutenberg blocks. And if you scroll down, these are styled with Gutenberg blocks as well. And finally at the bottom, we have the reviews from the default WooCommerce content. And I'm gonna show you how I created this page step by step from scratch without missing any steps, even the steps where I'm adding product information and images. So if you're new to WooCommerce and Gutenberg blocks, this is going to be perfect for you. I've added a link in the description for you to download all the images used in this tutorial if you want to follow along. The only thing you need is the theme that provides the hook elements function. If you want to get the pro versions of any of these themes I've mentioned, you can check out the links in the description for the latest discounts. Anyway, let's get started with the tutorial. Hey, this is Jack, and this is your first time on my channel. I share a lot of online business and WordPress Gutenberg tutorials, and my main focus is to help you get a 90+ rating on Google PageSpeed Insights. So if my content aligns with your needs, do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. And this is the first video of the WooCommerce series, so there will be a lot more WooCommerce content to come. We'll be discovering how to customize the checkout page, the account page, and everything you need to know about building an e-commerce store with WooCommerce. So do subscribe to the channel. And before we begin, I hope you can smash that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm so that someone else who needs this information will get it. And if you have done so, thank you. So without further ado, if you're following along, buckle up, have a blank website with you, grab some coffee, and let's do this. So now we are on the WordPress dashboard, and the way I like to design my websites with Gutenberg is with a split screen. On the left is what I would do on the WordPress backend, and on the right is the live view of the web page I am designing. And as you can see, this is a default WordPress install with nothing else added to it. So the first thing we will do is to install the theme and the required plugins. So on the WordPress dashboard, let's go to Appearance and Themes. Let's click on Add New, and let's search for Kadence. And this is the theme we want to install, so let's install this and activate. Next, for housekeeping, I will remove all these WordPress themes that are installed by default. So I'll click on Theme Details and click on Delete here. I'll do the same for the rest of the themes. And now the only theme that is installed is the Kadence WP theme. Next, we'll install all the required plugins. So let's go to Plugins and Add New. So the first plugin we need to install is the Kadence Pro plugin. And if you haven't gotten the Kadence Pro theme yet, you can use this link with this code to get a 10% discount. And once you have subscribed to the Pro version of the theme, you'll see a page like this. So you need to go to Product Downloads, and you need to download this Kadence Pro plugin. Click on Download, and once this plugin is downloaded to your computer, let's go back to the WordPress dashboard, and then you want to click on Upload plugin. Click on Browse, and you want to double click the Kadence Pro plugin, and then let's install now. Let's activate the plugin, and now we have to activate the theme. Let's click here, and in your Kadence account, you can go to the product API keys, and you want to copy this, and you want to go back to your WordPress dashboard and put in the key here, together with the email you have purchased your license with, and activate. And once this is done, let's scroll down. You want to toggle this, the hook elements, the WooCommerce add-ons, and that's basically what we'll need. Next, let's install the second plugin. Let's go to Plugins and Add New. On the search bar, let's search for Kadence. And we need the Kadence blocks, which is this. Let's install now and activate. Now, once done, we have to install one last plugin, which is the WooCommerce plugin. So let's go to plugins and add new. Let's search for WooCommerce and let's install WooCommerce here and activate. Let us quickly get WooCommerce set up. Let's continue. So depending on what business you are in, you can select accordingly. But for this case, we will select food and drink and home furniture and garden because our intention is to sell knife with this website. And let's continue. We don't need any of these plugins. We just need the physical products checked. And let's continue. Over here, I'll put maybe 1 to 10. And whatever you put here, it doesn't matter. WooCommerce is just trying to collect data from its users. So I'll select no. And then we don't need all this, and let's continue. And we'll be using the Kadence theme, so we'll continue with my active theme. We don't need the Jetpack, so no thanks. And we're basically done with the first step. Now let's add the products. Now I won't be using any templates, so I will show you how to create a product from scratch. So let's go to products and add new. And for the product name, I'll put it as carved knife. And then let's scroll down. For the product data, since we're selling one product with 2 variations, let's click on the drop down and select variable product. Now, if it's your own business and you need to do stock take, you can check this box so that whenever your customer clicks on the add to cart button, the number of stocks left will be displayed. So we will not change the stock quantity here because we have product variation. And then for the allow back orders, we do not allow it. So what this means is that once your stock quantity turns 0, this product will be sold out and it will not accept any new orders. If you allow this, your customers can still purchase the product even when the stock quantity is 0, which is not recommended. For the shipping details, we will not touch this as well because it's a variable product and all product details will be entered in the variations. So the next thing we need to do is to add attributes, and these attributes we use for variations. So in this example, I'm selling a knife with a black handle and a brown handle, and the attributes will be the handle color. So I need to create that, and what I would recommend is not to create an attribute here. Instead, go to products and over here, there's this attributes here, click on this. Before that, let's stay on page and let's publish this first. And next, let's go to attributes. Let's give this attribute a name. So let's say select handle color and let's add attributes. And next you want to configure terms. So let's click on this. You want to add blank because you have a black handle knife. Let's add this. And then next you want to create one for brown as well. So we are done with this. Let's go back to the product. Under all products, let's edit this. Let's scroll down. Let's go to attributes. And over here, because you have created the attribute, this will show. So let's select this and add. And over at the values, if you don't see all these drop downs, you need to amend them over at the attributes here. I've just shown you how to do it. So let's select black and then a brown here. And we want to check this off and we need to use this attribute for variations. So let's save attributes and we're done. Next, let's add variations. So over here, we want to add variation. Let's select go. And because you have set your attributes, we want to select one for brown. Let's save changes. And then next, we want to add another variation. And let's select brown. So let's expand this by clicking on this white area. Now let's add an image for this variation. Let's upload files, select files, and I'll select this. And I'll change the name for this. And I'll copy this and put it at the alt text as well, just to give some SEO juice to it. And let's set variation image. Next, I want to set the price. Let's say the price for this is $45.99. And I will put this in stock. And you can basically add the weight and stuff here. These are important for you if you're printing labels for your shipment. But if you don't need to, I would recommend that you leave this blank. And I'll explain to you why in a while. And we are done with the brown. Let's close this up. Let's go to the black. Let's add an image. Upload files, select files. And we want to select the black handle knife. Let's give this a name. Copy this, alt text, and set variation image. And for this, let's say that the price for the black handle is a little more expensive. Let's say that it is $49.99. I'm not having a sale for now, so I'll just save changes. And now let me set a product image. Let's go over here. Let's set product image. And let's say by default, I want this to show as the first image the customer see on the product page. So let's set this as the product image. And then let's add another image to the image gallery. Let's select this and add to gallery. And we are basically done. Let's update this. And let's copy this link And let's go over here and see how the default product page look like. So this is how it looks like. You can choose either the black handle or the brown handle. Currently it is out of stock. Let's fix this. Let's go to the variation. Let's open this up. Let's check this manage stock. Let's put this as maybe 50. Let's close this up and let's go to the black. Manage stock. Let's say this is 30. And let's update and refresh. So we can see the brown we have 50 in stock, and for the black we have 30 in stock. So this is how the default single product page look like. Let's start customizing this. We'll start with the header. So let's go back to the WordPress dashboard. So over at appearance, we want to select customize. Now the first thing we want to do is to set the global colors of the website. So let's go to general and let's select colors. So this is the global color palette. We want to set the first accent color to this color. For accent number 2, we'll set as this beige color. And because for this website, the background color is going to be a dark color, so all our fonts and everything will need to be a lighter color. So this strongest text, we want to put it as white. For the strong text, I want to put it as white as well. For the medium text, which is the color for almost all the text, we want to put it as white as well. And for this as well, we want to put it as something light. And over here, we need to turn this into a dark color. So let's say it's this color. For this as well, we'll put this color as well. And for the white and off-white, we'll put it as total black. Or maybe this will look nicer because it blends with the background, as you can see over here. So as you can see here, this link color doesn't work. This is basically the accent 1 and accent 2 colors. So we need to switch the colors over here. So over here, let's copy this. Let's put it somewhere else. And then let's click on accent number 2. Let's copy this. Let's go to accent number 1 and paste it here. And then over at accent 2, we want to paste the previous color. So that when somebody hover over to a link, this is how it will look. So we are done with the color palettes. Let's publish this and let's see how our page look like right now. As you can see, it kind of looks better. Now let's edit the header. So let's go back again. Let's click on header. Now let's go to the design. And for the header background, we want to select this so that it follows the global background. If you can see here, this globe basically represents that this color here will follow the color palette you have just set. So if we go back to the color palette and we change this color over here, the color of the header background will change as well. So let's go to general and over at the logo, we want to add a logo. Let's upload the logo and let's upload this. And don't forget to download these images if you haven't done so. I've left the link in the description so that you can follow along easily. So let's change the title. Let's put in the alt text as well. And let's select this. Let's skip cropping. And we're basically done. Let's put this as maybe an 80 pixels of width. I think it's too small, so maybe 150. I think maybe 100 is better. I think this is fine. Let's select only logo. We don't want the My WordPress to show, which is the site title here. So let's change the site title as well as the tagline, because this is important. If you don't change this tagline will be shown here. So for example, this is Carve Knife My WordPress. It is basically showing the previous site title. But if you're on the home page, it will show your site title as well as your tagline, just as what you see here. So we gotta change the tagline as well. And let's publish this. Let's refresh this home page. And there's a spelling mistake here. And you can see the site title and tagline. This will make the website more professional instead of My WordPress and just another WordPress site. So now we want to shift the logo to the middle. So let's click and drag this logo over to the middle. Currently, this is the mobile view, and that's why you don't see this logo shift to the middle. So if we expand this, you can see that this is shifted. So if you want to change the tablet and mobile logo location as well, let's click on this and let's drag this logo to the middle. And we are done. Let's go back. Let's go to the desktop. Now for the primary navigation, we want to shift it to the left. So over here, the primary navigation, we want to click and drag it to the left. And if we want to change the menu items, let's click on this gear. And over here, let's select menu. Let's create a new menu. Let's select the mobile as well. Let's give this a name. Let's click on next. Let's add items. Let's add home. Let's add an about us as well. But since we haven't created an about me page, let's just add a custom link. And for the URL, we'll put a hashtag. And when we have created an about me page, we can replace this hashtag with the about us link. So for the link text, let's put about. Let's add to menu. Let's add a technology as well. Put a hashtag. And let's put reviews, hashtag, and we're done. Let's go back again. Let's go to header. Now we want to put an account and a cart icon here. So over on the left, let's search for cart over here. Let's click and drag this out. And you see the cart here. And then we want to drag the account as well, right beside the cart. And if we want to change the icon for this too, let's click on this settings for the cart. Let's select this. And you can either do a pop-out cart or a drop-down cart. Let me show you how the pop-up cart works. So let's publish this. Let's go to the main page. Let's refresh. So a pop-out cart will look like this, where all the items in the cart will be listed here. And if we select the drop-down cart and let's publish this, let's refresh. As you hover, all the items in the cart will be displayed here. So this drop-down cart will give you an Amazon view. So we'll be using that. Now we are done with the desktop, but we are not done with the mobile. So over at the mobile, for the trigger, which is these 3 lines here, so let's click and drag it over to the left. And you'll see it here. And then let's go back to the header. Let's click on cart and drag it to the right. And we want to drag the account right beside the cart as well. So let's click on the settings. Let's change this to the trolley and we'll put it as the pop-out cart. And we forgot to change the account. So in case you don't like this, you can change it to either this or this. It's really up to you, and you can even put the username as well. You can play around with all this. But for me, I'll just put the icon because it just makes this cleaner. And we need to amend the desktop version as well. Over at the account, let's click on this settings and let's change it to this. And let's publish. Now the next thing I want to do is to make this header a transparent header. So let's head back, and to show you why I'm doing that, let me add a background in a single product page. So let's go back all the way, and then let's go to WooCommerce and single product layout. Over at the design, for the content background, let's select an image, select image, upload files, and we want to select this background. Let's choose image, let's publish. And let's go to the product page. Let's refresh. And you can see it looking like this. It's not exactly what I want. So we'll change it to fix instead of scroll. Let's publish this and let's see how it looks. So as you can see, the background image will stay still as you scroll. And that's what I want. And the reason I said I want to make the header transparent is because of this reason. Personally, I feel it looks better with a transparent background. So let's go back all the way to the header. Let's scroll down all the way. You see here the transparent header. We want to enable transparent header. We want to untoggle this so that the transparent header will take shape in the product page. Let's publish this and refresh. And you'll see it looking like this. So now we are basically done with the header section. Let's start customizing the single product page from the theme customizer. So now let's rely on the live preview from the theme customizer. We'll need to go to the single product page. So let's go back all the way to the front, and then let's go to WooCommerce. So instead of selecting this single product layout, let's select this product catalog first so that it will go to the shop page, and let's select this product. And we have come to the single product page. Let's go back and let's select single product layout. The other method to come to this page is basically to go to your live page and then just click on this customize, and you'll basically land here. So now I don't want this breadcrumbs to show, and I need to give this a little more space between the logo and the content of the page. So I will select extra title area, and you'll see something like this. So no worries about this. Let's go to design. Let's go to this product above area background. Let's click on this, and we want to click on this and toggle it all the way to the back so that it becomes transparent. The other alternative, you see this letter A here. Let's change this 1 to 0 and it will become transparent, as you can see here. And for the product above title font, we want to change this to transparent as well as the category font. We want to change this to transparent as well. And you can see that the text is gone now and we have some space here. But this space is a little too wide. Let's go back to general, and over here, the above container minimum height, we want to reduce it to maybe 50, and this looks perfect. Now let's scroll down. As you can see here, the above elements, basically the category text is still around. We want to toggle this off, so you won't see any text here, even when you highlight it. And let's scroll down further. We want to make this add to cart button bigger. So over here, the add to cart, let's put this as medium large. And this looks much nicer. Now I want to add a notice here because I want to inform people that the wooden handle will look different from the image as we use natural wood. So over at the extras, let's expand this. Let's toggle the visibility on. And as you can see over here, free shipping on orders over $50. That's the default wording. So I want to change that. And then I like the rest of the conditions here. So let's scroll down. You can basically change the icon here as you can see, but I'll leave it as that. And for the payments, we want to toggle this on as well. And I want to toggle this discover off, and I'm liking how it looks right now. But I want to remove this SKU and category. So let's scroll down further. The product meta, I want to toggle this off. So this will be gone. So now the next thing is, let's scroll down a little. We want to toggle this off, the show related products, because we're only selling one product here. Unless you want to do upsells or cross sells, otherwise I will toggle this off. And I don't want to show the weight and dimensions of the product in the additional information tab. And we are basically done here. I want to add a sticky add to cart button at the bottom. So let's publish this. And we are done with this segment. The next thing we want to do is to add some accordions right after the add to cart button. So now let's close off this theme customizer and go to the WordPress dashboard. Now the way I'm going to add an accordion, which is a Gutenberg block, is not through the product page here. As you can see, there is no way that I can edit the product description using Gutenberg unless I add some codes to the theme customizer. So my method of customizing the single product page is through hooked elements. So I will go to appearance, and as you can see here under Kadence, we have these elements here. And if you don't see these elements here, let's go to Kadence. And let's scroll down. This hooked elements, we need to toggle this on so that we will see the elements here. Let's click on elements and let's add new. So there are three types of elements here. We'll be using the default. So this will go to the default WordPress editor where we can use Gutenberg blocks. And if we select fix, this is basically an option where we want to fix something on the page. Like for example, if someone scrolls through your page up to a certain length, you want to display a fixed element on your page, you will select this fix here. And for the code option, you're basically editing everything with HTML and CSS. So since we'll be using Gutenberg, let's select default. Now let's give this element a name. Let's say this is carved knife accordion. It doesn't matter what you put here because this will not be shown anywhere on the site. This is just for your reference in case you're using hook elements on a lot of other pages. And then the next thing you want to do is to go over here and click on this element settings. For the placement, let's expand this. As you can see, there are a lot of options you can choose. You can basically hook an element to any of these places. And for our purpose, we want to select this after add to cart form. And the next thing we need to do is very important, which is this display settings. Because if you don't select the display settings, this element we are going to create here would not be shown on any pages of your website. So let's select a place to show. You can either select entire site, which is not what we want. We want to select single products so that it will show on a single product page. And in case you have a lot of products, you don't want to show it on all the products. You want to specify the specific product to show on. So let's select this and let's select individually. Select items. And as you can see, this is the product we want to show this accordion on. Let's select and we are done. Let's test this out. Let me put some text here and publish. And over on the product page, let's refresh. And you can see the text is over here. So whatever that you add on this element will be displayed here. So over on the elements, let's remove this text and let's add a block. Let's search for accordion. And here we go. I will select this style. Let me add all the text first. And in the accordion, I have 3 questions. So I will add an accordion item. And these are the 3 questions I think my customer will ask. So I want to answer them here. So let me add an icon list. Let's add a block. Let's search for icon. We can see this icon list here. Let's select this. Let's hit enter. And then let's copy this over on the next question. Let me add some text first. And let's right click and paste it here. And let's change the text. And let's do the same for the third question. Let's hit enter, right click and paste. And let's amend all the details here. And we are done. We need to style this. So if you look down at the bottom left, you can basically see the layers of the element. Let's select the accordion layer, and over at the top right, click on this settings, and here are the styling elements. So now let me close this off a little so that we can see the effects. For the paint title color settings, which is this. On normal, we want the title color to be white, so I will select this. The title background, I will turn this to transparent. And for the title border color, I want to turn this white as well. And you can't see any border yet because over here, the paint title border. For this paint title border width, we want to put this as 1, and you'll see the border here. Next, let's go to the hover. For the hover color, I still want it to be white. For the hover background, I want it to be this color, so that as I hover over, you see, it becomes this color. Maybe I should change this hover text to be black, so that as I hover, you can see that the text is black over here. Next, for the hover border, let's put this as white as well. And let's go to active, which means when one of the pane is selected. So for example, this, as you can see, this is basically selected. So for the active title color, I want it to be white. For the active background, I want it to be transparent. And the active border color, I want it to be white as well. So let's update this and let's refresh. And as you can see, this is looking quite decent already. But now the thing is, as you refresh this, you can see that by default, the first pane is selected, and that's not what we want. Let's scroll up. Let's toggle this on so that when a page refresh or when a page loads, all the panes will be collapsed. So let's update this and refresh. And you can see all the panes closed. So let's select this. This is looking quite decent. And I like this. And if we look at it in the desktop view, this is looking quite decent, and we're basically done. The next thing we're gonna do is to insert a hook element over here so that we can have a section like this styled with Gutenberg blocks. So let's go. So now let's go back to the WordPress dashboard. So let's click on this WordPress logo that will bring us to the dashboard. And now over at the elements, we want to add new. If you're not on this page, it's basically appearance. And then under cadence, we have these elements here. And we'll come to this page. And let's add new. We want to select default. We want to give this element a title. And then let's click on this element settings. For the placement, we want to scroll down all the way to WooCommerce product. And let's scroll down further till we see the single product tabs. Let's select this. So basically what it means is that this is the single product page tab. So we want to insert the hook elements here. And for the priority, I'll put it as 9 because I want the hook elements to display before the tabs. And let's go to the display settings and let's do the same thing. Let's hone into the single product. And then I want to select individually, select items. This is the product we want to display these elements on, and let's publish this. Sorry, let's test this first so that we know we are placing the elements at the right place. Let's refresh. So we'll work with this first and see what's the outcome. So if we go to the mobile view, we're at the right place. So maybe when we add the elements in, the desktop items will fall back to place. So let's remove this block. And let's first add a row layout. Let's search for row and this will pop out. Let's select a 1-column row, and then we want to click on this, change alignment, we want it to be full width. And then the next thing is we want to click on this settings. We want to make sure the block is selected so that we can change the settings of the block. Let's first go to the dividers and let's select bottom, and I'll explain to you what we are doing here. So let's select the divider. Let's say that I want to select this, and as you can see, once I've selected that, there's this curve that appears here. So let's give this divider a color. So let's say it is this color. And if I update this and refresh, you can see that we are creating a separator here. And let's expand it out. And as you can see, the desktop version is working. So cool. Next, let us add another row layout. Let's select this one column row layout and let's do the same thing. Change alignment, full width. And for the background settings, I want to change the background color to be the same color as the divider so that it blends. And then let's scroll down further. Under the structure settings, I want to toggle this on. So whatever content I put within this row layout block would not take the full width. So for example, if I expand this out, if I were to add an element and I didn't toggle that settings on, the content that I put within the row layout can appear at the side here and at the side here. And if we toggle that setting on, the max content width is basically from this border all the way to this border over here. So nothing else will appear on the side. So let's add a heading. Let's add block. Let's search for heading. I want to select advanced heading. Let me align this center. So the font size, I want to change it to 50. And then next, I want to add 4 columns here so that it will look like this. We have 4 images side by side. So over here, we want to add a block. Let's select row layout. And we want to select this 4 equal columns. Next, I want to go to this box and click on add block. And let's search for info. And here we are, we need this info box. Let's click on this. So let's go over to the block settings. Let's scroll down. Under container settings, the container background, we want it to be transparent. Let's scroll down further. The media settings, we want to change the media type to image so that we can upload an image. So let's select this feature 1. Now I forgot to do one thing. Let's scroll up further. Under the container settings, you see now as I hover, this gray background will appear and I don't want that. Let's go to hover. The hover background, I want to make this as transparent as well so that as I hover, nothing will happen. So let's scroll down further. So the max image width, we want to put it as 210. For the image border, I want to put it as 2. And let's scroll down further. The image border, I want to put it as white. And this, I have to put it as 2. And for the border radius, I have to put it as 200. And for the media padding, I want to put it as 0. The image hover border, we want to put it as white as well. And now let's edit the title. And let's open up the title settings. The font size, I want to put it as 25. And we are done with this. Let's edit the text settings, which are the text over here. So the text color, we want to put it as white as well. Let's change the text. Let's put this as italic. So instead of styling everything from scratch for the remaining 3 elements, let's click on this options and let's copy. And then let's go to the second box. Let's add a block, select paragraph first. Let's right click and paste. We'll do the same for the rest. Paragraph, right click, paste. And now all we need to do is to amend the stuff within this info box. So let's click on this. Let's go to media settings. Let's edit media. Let's upload files. Let's select feature number 2. Maybe you want to add a title, for example, curve handle. And let's copy this and put in the alt text to give this some SEO juice. Let's select this. Let's amend the title. And let's do the same for the third column. Let's go to media settings, edit media, upload files, select feature 3, change up the text. And let me fast forward this. And we're done with this. Now over at the gray area here, let's click on this add block. Let's select row layout. Let's select this 1 column row layout. And as for the dividers, we'll select top and let's select the divider. And I'll select this design. And for the divider color, I want it to blend with the previous section. And then don't forget to change the alignment of this row layout to full width. And as for the background settings for this row layout, I want to select the background color as the first accent color so that it will look like this. But I need to shift the content of this block down. Otherwise, you can see that whatever that I add here will basically touch the previous section. So what we need to do is to select this padding and margin. For the top padding, if we add more top padding here, this content block will be pushed down. So for example, if I add 100 here, we can see that this is shift down. We want this to be maybe 150. And then let's add a header. Let's select advanced heading. Let's put in the text. And then let's align this center. Let's increase the font size to 50. And for the heading color, we want to put it as this color. And then next, let's scroll down. Let's add an image here. So let's search for image, select image, upload. Let's select this carved knife dimensions. So for now, let's update and refresh the live page. And let's check this out. So we need to align this center. So let's click on the image, click on change alignment, align it center, update, refresh, and we're done. Now don't worry about the mobile view. We will adjust this towards the end of the video. So now if somebody were to be on a mobile view, they can't actually see this. So it's not good for the mobile user. So what we need to do is to add 3 columns of text here that will reflect all this small text on the image. So let's click on this, add block. Let's select row layout. Let's select 3 equal column. And then for this, let's do something simple. Let's add advanced heading. We're going to put this as heading number 3. But for the font size, I want to put it as 18. And let's align this center. Now for the background of this section, let's select this section. As you can see, these are all the layers here. So before that, when we are clicking on this, we have this advanced heading. And then let's select this section over here. So over at the background color, and let's select this dark brown. And then for the border radius is basically to control the curve of the border. Let's put this as 10. So as you can see now, instead of a right angle, we have a curved border. So let's click on this advanced heading. We want to put some space at the top. So let's go to spacing settings. And at the top, we want to put a 20 pixels of padding. And then let's click on the heading. Let's hit enter so that we can type some text here. Now, if you want to go to the next line of the text, instead of creating a new block, you need to hold the shift key on your keyboard and then hit enter so that it will go to the next line. So if you don't hold the shift key, if you hit enter, it will create a new line for you to create a new block. But we don't want that. We want the text to be on the same block itself. So let's hit backspace on the keyboard or return if you're on a Mac. Let's hold the shift key and hit enter. Let's put in the text, shift enter again. 10.8 inches. And then next we want to change the text alignment to center. And now we are basically done. So let's click on this section. Let's click on this options and let's copy. And let's go to the media block. Let's click on this add block. Over here we want to paste the styles. Let's do the same for the third block. Let's paste styles. So next, for this advanced heading, let's copy this. Let's add a block. Let's say it's paragraph and let's right click and paste. Let's do the same for the third column. And then next, let's hit enter, put in the text. And then let's align center. Let's do the same for the right column. And then let's change the text for the header and let's update this. And on the live page, let's refresh. So this looks decent, but if we open this up, now the thing is, we don't want all this text to appear on the desktop version or even on the tablet version because we can clearly see all the text on the image itself. So on the desktop and the tablet version, we will hide this. So how we do that? Let's go back to the elements. So over here, let's select this row layout. And once I click this, you can see that these 3 columns are selected together with the row layout. So let's scroll down all the way to the bottom where we see this visibility settings. We want to hide on desktop and hide on tablet. And let's update this and let's refresh and let's see if it appears on the desktop version. And that section is gone, which is cool. Next, at the gray area, let's click on add block. Let's add another row layout. Let's add another 1 column row layout. And let's change this to full width. Let's add a divider at the top. Let's select this. And for the divider color, we want to blend it with the previous section. And here we go. Now let's go to the background settings. For the background color, let's select this brown. But this time around, I want to make it even darker. Something like this. You can see it here. So let's add some padding. Let's put 150 pixels at the top so that the content will be pushed down. Let's scroll up. Let's click on this heading and let's copy this. So let's add a new block, paragraph, right click, paste. So now let's add another row layout. Let's select this right heavy and then let's click on structure settings. Let's toggle this on and then I want to add a paragraph. Let's bold this, align this right. Let's copy this, open up a new paragraph, right click and paste. Let's align this left. So let's click on this row layout so that this entire row layout is selected. The padding and margin for the bottom, we want to put this as 0. And then next, I want to copy this. And over here, you can see this add block. Let's add a paragraph and then let's right click and paste. Let's do the same 2 more times. And let's change the text. And we are done with this. One last thing we need to do at the gray area here, add a row layout, select a 1-column row. And as for the dividers, let's select top. Let's select this. And for the color, we need to blend with the previous section. So let's click on anywhere at the top section and let's select the base row layout layer. And then let's go to the background settings, background color. Let's copy this color code and let's go to the new row layout we have created and go to the dividers. And at the top, the divider color, let's paste the color code here so that it blends with the previous section. And then next, the padding and margin at the top, let's put 150 as well. And then we want to add advanced heading. Let's align the center. And let's change the font size to 50. And then we're basically done. Let's update this and let's refresh. So as you can see, we are done, but we forgot to put this as a full width. So over here at the advanced heading, let's select this row layout layer. And over here, let's change this alignment to full width. Let's update and let's refresh. We need to do something about this, but don't worry about that. So basically over here, what is happening is this is the final section before the WooCommerce content over here. This review is from the content of the single product page. So now let's do something about this. And this is the section where we'll optimize this page for mobile. We'll put all these 4 columns 2 by 2. And that's basically it. And same goes for this. So let's go. So now over here, what we need to do is to click on this paragraph here. And over here, you can see that the paragraph layer is selected. We want to click on this row layout here. Not this row layout at the base, but the row layout above that base layer. So let's click on this. So what we want to do here is that over here, you can see this is the desktop version and this is the tablet and mobile version. So let's click on the mobile version. So now as you can see here, it's stacking the columns against each other. And that's not what we want. We want to put it side by side. So if we can scroll this down, here you can see that this text is side by side now. So let's do the same for the other blocks. Over here, let's click on this paragraph and then let's select the row layout. And then for the mobile version, we want to put it side by side. Let's click on this and then the row layout as well. Let's put it side by side. Let's do the same. We can even put like this, which looks a lot nicer. So let's update this and let's refresh this. And as you can see, this is looking a lot nicer here. So the same thing here, we can see that this text over here is too big. So let's scroll down, let's select this. And over here, you can see that we've selected the mobile version. So the font size for the mobile, let's put it as maybe 35. So if we update this and as we refresh, we can see that this text is a little smaller. So let's do the same for the specifications. Let's click on this. We've selected the mobile version. As you can see on the desktop version, the font size is 50 because we have created it this way. So let's select the mobile version. The font size, we want to set it as 35 on mobile. So this as well. And we are done. Now the thing is, we want to put this 4 columns side by side. So let's say I click on this info box and then let's click on this row layout layer. Then now we want to put it as a 2-column grid. So as you can see right now, it looks this way, but don't worry about that. Let's update this first and let's go to the live page. Let's refresh this. And if we scroll up, we can see that it's looking like this. It's a little cramped here. So what we need to do is over here for this column gutter, which is the spaces between these 2 columns, we want to change it to maybe a skinny column. And then for the mobile padding and margin on the right, we want to put it as 0. And then next, let's click on the info box. And then let's scroll up to container settings. For the container padding, we want to put it as 0. So now it looks a lot better. So let's do the same for the rest. Let's click on this info box, container settings, the container padding. Make sure that the mobile settings is selected. Let's put 0. Let's do the same for the rest. And let's update this and refresh. And we are done. This is looking good. So now let's check this out. This is the mobile view of the single product page created with WooCommerce and Gutenberg. And this is the desktop version of it. So now let's talk about these product tabs over here. And by default, if you have used WooCommerce before, you know that there is a description, there are additional information, and then there are reviews. And I was able to remove the additional information and the product description without using any codes. And I can even remove these reviews if I want to. So let me show you how I did it. So now we have to go to the WooCommerce product. So let's click on this WordPress logo, which will bring us to the dashboard. And then we want to go to products and let's select all products. So this is the product, let's edit it. And if we scroll down further, we can see this advanced here. Let's click on this and then over here, enable reviews. We want to check this box off. And then let's update this. And then if we refresh the live page, this section will be gone, as you can see. So we'll still want that. So let's go to advanced and let's check this box again. And here we are. But what if you want the product description and the additional information? Now the reason there are no product description or additional information is because we have left those information blank. So over here at the classic editor, if we type something here, so as you can see, I've typed something and it's because we have set the text as white. So it blended with the white background. And if I update this, and then if I refresh this, we'll see the product description here. And here's the text we've just entered. And then to activate the additional information, all you need to do is to go to the shipping. You can either enter this information here and let's update. And the reason it is not showing is because over at the appearance and in the theme customizer, let's go to WooCommerce and single product layout. If we scroll to the bottom, we can see that this is toggled off, meaning we do not want to show the weight and dimensions of the product. But if I toggle this on and I publish this, and if I refresh this, the additional information is here, as you can see. So this is to toggle off the additional information. Unless you have more information, that will display, but it will not display the weight and dimensions. And then for the description, all you need to do, if you don't want the description to be here, just leave the WordPress editor blank and just update this. Refresh, and it's basically gone. We are left with the reviews. So awesome! Now you know how to customize a single product page on WooCommerce using Gutenberg blocks without adding any extra plugins or any extra codes. So I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and you now know the power of using hook elements on your website. You can practically customize your site freely with the knowledge of this video. All it takes is just practice. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you want more WordPress Gutenberg tutorials from me, you can check out the playlist at the top, and if you want to learn how to improve your site speed, you can check out the playlist at the bottom. All the best to you, take care, and stay safe.